1960s radical Abby Hoffman is credited with coming up with the concept of a coincidence theorist. I've noticed that the main talking point of the coincidence theorist is correlation is not causation. Pull the string on their back, and they reflexively utter this trope. It only just occurred to me that correlation is when things coincide. Correlations are coincidences. In other words, coincidences. So when someone says that correlation is not causation, they're basically telling you that a pattern you observe is a coincidence. They're essentially coincidence theorists. Speaking to that point, I've noticed lately a lot of coincidence theorizing in the media. In the article, Things We Should Understand, the aristocracy is eating the peasants, we read, most people, especially most Americans, still seem to view the events of the past half-century as more or less random. Booms and busts erupting out of nowhere, impoverishing all but a handful of lucky elites. Political crises that end up dividing rather than uniting. Wars that cost fortunes and resolve nothing. Everything is bad and nothing is related to anything else. But of course, that's not true. Each of the above events serves the same purpose, to enrich a modern aristocracy at the expense of everyone else. Dave Chappelle, in the wake of the Kanye West controversy, of course drew fire by observing this same tactic as it pertained to one such charge.
He had broken the show business rules. This is a rule. You know, the rules of perception. If they're black, then it's a gang. If they're Italian, it's a mob. But if they're Jewish, it's a coincidence, and you should never speak about it.
Leaving aside the substance of the charge that Chappelle is alluding to, it's a tactic that we see mobilized all too often today. A child is given an untested experimental therapeutic, one of whose side effects is myocarditis. And when that child comes down with myocarditis, the coincidence theorist is mobilized to deflect you from a consciousness of direct cause and effect. Hey, correlation is not causation. Ignore the only changed variable in the child's life and chalk it up to a coincidence. It's a random universe. Patterns are an illusion of human cognition. The whole thrust of the professional coincidence theorist is stigmatizing pattern recognition and promoting the notion of a random universe.
Are you or a loved one suffering from a medical coincidence? You want proper medical care, but you don't want people sniffing around asking a whole bunch of questions about what might be causing your problem. At the Kaufman Institute for Coincidence, we won't look into the cause of your heart or other problem, we'll just fix it. That's right. We promise to only look at your symptoms. We won't get all curious looking for causes, because that could get your employer or your doctor into some legal hot water. And nobody wants that. At Kaufman, we understand that coincidence is now the leading cause of death.
Hey, we've got another coincidence over here.
If we want to operate at the speed of science, there's no time for looking for causes.
The professional coincidence theorist in caveman times would have denied that sex leads to babies. Hey, I know that Trog and Xena had sex and that a baby occurred afterwards, but correlation is not causation. The coincidence theorist in antiquity would have watched tribe mates eat a specific species of mushroom and keel over, and would have denied that it was the mushroom. Hey, correlation is not causation. The deaths in the mushrooms just coincided. It was a coincidence. So just keep eating the mushrooms and ignore those pesky conspiracy theorists pointing out a pattern. In summation, pattern recognition is a hallmark of the cultivated mind. All of science and civilization emerged from it. Seeing the universe as a random place of stray particulars is the defining characteristic of the savage, the illiterate, the medieval peasant that the elites want you to be. The New American Magazine is now on Locals. It's a for-pay platform for like $5. It gives you access to extra content and allows you to support your favorite hosts. As I said before, think of it like throwing some coins into the cup of a street performer. Check it out at thenewamerican.locals.com.